All right, today on The Explainer, we're diving into something big. We're going to demystify the core principles of modern app development. Think of it as the actual blueprint that separates a smash hit from a total flop.
So, have you ever wondered this? Why can some apps handle millions, literally millions of users, while others just completely crash and burn on launch day? It's a nightmare scenario, right? You've got this amazing idea, it starts to go viral, and boom, it's all over. The secret isn't just the idea, it's how you build that idea. And that's where the answer is. It's in a whole new way of building, a modern blueprint. We're going to unpack this whole thing today, and I want you to think of it like, well, like the architectural plans for a massive skyscraper. You don't just start building, right? You need a plan designed for strength, for flexibility, and for handling a ton of people from the get-go.
Okay, so where do we start with our blueprint? Well, every good building needs a solid foundation. And for modern apps, that means thinking globally. We're building for everyone, everywhere, right from day one. And this foundation really rests on two huge pillars. The first one, always available. Look, your app has to be ready for those crazy traffic spikes without even breaking a sweat. And pillar number two, always secure. This is a big one. Security and data compliance, they're not an afterthought. You can't just bolt them on later. They have to be mixed right into the concrete of your foundation. All right, our foundation is poured and it's solid. Now it's time to put up the framework. This is where we get into the real nuts and bolts. The code, the environment, all the stuff that needs to be clean, organized, and totally secure. And when it comes to the framework, there are three rules that are just non-negotiable. First, you gotta use version control, something like Git, so you can track every single change. No excuses. Second, handle your dependencies the right way. Just list what you need. Don't bundle all those external libraries into your code. And third, and listen, this is so important, you have to keep your configuration separate from your code. Never, ever hardcode stuff like API keys. That's just asking for a disaster. Okay, so our foundation is in, the framework is up, things are taking shape. Now for the really fun part, designing the floor plan. This is the architecture of our app. And trust me, this one decision will change everything about how your app grows and adapts down the road. So, for years, the go-to design was something called a monolith. The best way to picture it is one single, giant, self-contained building. Everything is in there together. User profiles, the payment system, notifications. It's all one tightly coupled structure. Now, this is simple to get started with, for sure. But here's the catch. If one little part has a problem, say, in the basement, the entire building can go dark. But the modern blueprint, it takes a totally different approach. It's all about microservices. So instead of that one giant tower, imagine you're building a whole campus of smaller, independent buildings. Each building has exactly one job. This one handles user profiles, that one over there handles payments. They can all talk to each other, but, and this is key, they operate independently. And this is where it gets really cool when you put them side by side. Think about scalability. With that big monolith, if just the user profile part gets a ton of traffic, you have to beef up the entire building. It's super inefficient. With microservices, you just add more resources to that one little building. Easy. Development is way faster too, because different teams can work on their own buildings at the same time. And my favorite part? Fault isolation. If the recommendations building has a power outage, who cares? The rest of the campus just keeps on running. And this smart design has another secret weapon. It's a concept called being stateless. What does that mean? It means these little microservice buildings, they have no memory. They don't hold on to any user data between requests. All that important info is stored somewhere else, like in a central library or a database. This makes each service totally disposable. It's like a tool. If one breaks, you don't fix it, you just throw it away and grab a brand new one from the box. Instantly. No data lost. All right, let's be real for a second. Every engineer, every developer knows one universal truth. Things are going to break. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. A modern blueprint doesn't just cross its fingers and hope for the best. No, it expects failure and it plans for it. It has built-in fail-safes, just like a real building has fire sprinklers and emergency exits. So what does that look like? Well, one of the smartest fail-safes is a strategy called exponential backoff. Let's say one of your services isn't responding. Instead of just hammering it with requests over and over, you do this. Your first try fails. Okay, you wait just 1 second, then try again.
Still nothing? Now you wait 2 seconds. Still failing? You double it again. Wait 4 seconds. Then 8. You see the pattern? You're giving that struggling service a chance to breathe and recover. It's a simple idea that stops a tiny glitch from snowballing into a full-blown meltdown.
But what if that service isn't just struggling? What if it's completely down for the count? That's where another brilliant idea comes in, the circuit breaker. It works exactly like the circuit breaker in your house. If it detects a major problem, a dead short, it trips a switch and cuts the power. In our app, it stops sending requests to a service that's clearly offline. This saves a ton of resources and, most importantly, protects the rest of the system from the problem. And all of this planning for failure leads to this really elegant concept called graceful degradation. Let's say a non-essential feature like your app's recommendation feed goes down. Instead of throwing a big, ugly error message in the user's face, you just don't show that feature. You hide it. The user might not even notice. The core app, the whole reason they're there in the first place, it still works perfectly. It's about providing the best possible experience, even when things aren't perfect behind the scenes. So if we step back and look at the big picture, you can see how all these pieces fit together, right? The microservices, the stateless design, all those clever failsafes, they're not just a random collection of tricks. They're all part of a bigger philosophy. It's a whole new mindset for how to be an architect in this cloud-native world. And this quote from Arunesh Chaudhary really just nails it. Cloud-native development is about more than just code. It's about planning for scale, security, and reliability. It's exactly that. It's a totally holistic approach. You're not just a coder hammering out features anymore. You're an architect designing a resilient, secure system that can scale to a global audience and handle whatever the world throws at it. So there you have it. That is the blueprint for a modern app. It's a fundamental shift in thinking, really. We're moving away from just building things and hoping they work to truly engineering systems that are designed from the ground up not to fail, which of course leaves us with one final, really exciting question. Now that you have the blueprint, what are you going to build?